I shouldn't tell you guys this because I'll never get this spot again, but there is a parking spot, one of the first ones, and it says recording studio parking only.
Tell me you parked in there.
I did park in
Yes.
there. Yeah. I'm guessing this is the recording studio that's talking about.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that should have been for the doctor.
Yeah.
What?
That should be our guest spot. Next time I'm going to put something
spot.
there that says
That's
guest.
a guest park.
Not Dan Copeland.
Right, exactly.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Fly me to the moon.
Yeah, speaking of that, what about makeup and wardrobe? Maybe we should kind of elevate this to having somebody do makeup and having a wardrobe person.
Do you know somebody?
I know somebody can do wardrobe for men.
I don't know if you can fix this though.
Probably not, but you can try.
We can always try.
You might feel better about yourself.
Oh yeah. As long as I don't look at myself in the mirror, right?
Maybe we could bring back the Kiss look.
Yes.
You know, the band.
Kind of
makeup.
Wow, that kind of makeup. Mm-hmm. Got it. Hey, I hope we're recording because this is some great content.
I like the shoes that those guys wear. They're about this tall. Those Kiss guys. And I've always wanted to be tall.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Yeah, that would do it.
And no one would know it's the shoes.
Yeah, and they use stuffing too, you know.
They use what?
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Yep. For your pants.
Are you kidding? They do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Should we go there? Is that?
Oh, I'm just saying. You're talking about being taller.
I can't go there.
Yeah.
So
anyway, how
here
you been?
we are.
How you been?
Great. How you been?
Doing okay. Yeah.
I can already tell we're getting more comfortable with this.
Yes. Well, why not?
Yeah.
You've got a topic to talk about today.
Yes, the good news. Between Three Rivers good news. Let's bring it up. So I saw an article the other day, and it was old people boxing. So Lutheran Life Village, their wellness director said, hey, why not get these older people active and keep them moving, and let's start a boxing clinic. Mm-hmm. And they called it Rock Boxing after Rocky. And so what they're doing, though, is it's purposeful.
Let me guess what they're doing. They're beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
No. Yeah. So like if you have like, Karen and whoever's not getting along, just
put them in the ring.
Yeah. But oh man. But the cool thing about though is they're actually purposeful. They're doing it for Parkinson's disease. So they're monitoring their movement, their balance, their actual vocal muscles, all these different things, and they're realizing that like this is actually helping protect their well-being and live longer for Parkinson's.
I think what they really ought to do is sell tickets to these boxing matches.
Yes.
And so people come in and they can serve drinks and people will be like, yeah. I mean, how fun would that be?
Yeah. Yeah. And I keep thinking about the, what's the old show that soap operas that everyone watched?
Or like Days of Our Lives, or
Days
All
of Our
My
Lives.
Children.
Yeah, they're probably watching too much of that, and they're like getting all kind of maybe a little bit jealous in the home.
At Lutheran Life Villages.
Yeah.
When you say old people, what is that age group?
Oh, good question.
I'm curious to know if I can get in on it.
You might be too young.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
But
that's fun.
I think it's kind of interesting because they're looking at the way their hips move and everything too during these sessions. And they're like, this is all like very strategic and like they got people on staff that are professionals at looking at their movements and seeing how, it can be fixed to have less of the disease.
And so somehow this movement is a factor in potentially not getting the disease.
Exactly.
Right? Is that the idea?
So the number one killer of the disease is your vocal muscle. Mm-hmm. So they're doing training on that as well. Mm-hmm. And they're seeing that it's helping a lot. And it's one of those things like, hey, look, never give up. You're in a retirement home, but you're boxing. You know what I mean? I did just a 9 rounds boxing in town here, and I'm like, I feel like an all-star just doing it once. So I can imagine being, 70, 80 years old and throwing a few jabs.
Yeah. Yeah. So you did that.
Oh, I didn't do the retirement home boxing.
No, but you did real boxing.
Oh, yeah.
You trained. And
Yeah.
Did you have matches? And
Oh, no. I feel like if I got hit in the face, I'd just be like, oh,
that'd be the end of it for you.
yeah.
So football wouldn't have been your thing, probably.
Oh man, I remember returning a punt, and I was like, I'll just keep going, and I would get hit once, twice. I'm still standing. After like the 6th hit, I'm like, I think I'm concussed. Like I think I should probably not play anymore. But back in the day, you just get up and keep going.
Yeah. It's amazing. You know, watching being from Michigan, I'm kind of following the Lions. God bless Andrea. She's there right there with me on the
Go
couch watching these games.
Lions.
Nice.
And it's just amazing how hard those guys get hit. And these are big guys.
Right.
It's amazing.
The freeze game with Kansas City, it was like negative degrees.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' helmet literally cracked. It was so cold.
Yes,
I
that
mean-
was crazy. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, no, that's a new one.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Pretty cold.
Well, so the reason that we brought up the whole boxing match and everything is we have, in my opinion, my favorite guest probably that we're going to have on the show. I'm just going to say that. I've been very
Now, when's
excited.
that person going to be here?
So I hope they show up soon. No.
Oh, it's
They're here.
today.
Yeah, it's today. So, but seriously, I keep thinking about it. I'm like, when we started the podcast and everything, he was like the number one. I was like, I got to get him in here.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Yep. I remember
And,
that very
yeah,
well.
so it's really neat because he's a little intro on Dr. Esguerra. He's a gynecologist. He's a lawyer. He's trained with the SEALs. He's been Iron Man 3 times. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm probably going to go on and on about it in the show, but
Then I think you guys should box today.
Yeah, right?
I think that would be a
no,
good idea.
I would not
yeah.
win. Training with the SEALs, right? So let's bring Francis in and let's talk about some of this stuff.
Let's hear it.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Francis.
How are you? Doctor.
Thank you so
Francis,
much.
come on in, man.
Thanks, you guys. All right. What a beautiful studio. It's awesome over here.
It
this
is
amazing?
It is an
Yeah.
awesome studio.
For
Yes,
sure,
it is.
For sure.
Yes,
Andre, how's it going? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Now, I just need to know though.
Sure.
Are you thinking, after all these years, I'm here on this podcast, I have finally made it?
Absolutely.
That's
I'm
what
thinking
I
to
thought.
myself, oh my gosh.
That's what I thought.
Those hours of studying,
The pinnacle.
applying for everything, interviewing for everything. Now I'm like, you know what? Now it's time to enjoy my life,
There you
try
go.
some new things, and hang out with you fine people.
Oh man, that's so funny, Sad, because we joke every single show. We're like, we're not that cool, are we? Like
I don't think so. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not for
Yeah.
sure. But
I will
but-
tell you, he is cool.
He
But
is
this
cool.
is
He
the
is cool.
this is the most exciting moment sometimes having being on here. So I think it is kind of cool.
it is cool. Yeah, it is cool. I mean, you can't just be anybody walking down the street. We don't just grab you off the street and go, come on, and you're on the show.
Right.
You got to be somebody.
Yes.
Well, I am very appreciative of the opportunity, so thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Bet.
But it's just nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
it's very true what he just said.
Sure.
We are trying to bring on the leaders in our community,
Gotcha.
and that is our number one goal. It's like people that are making a difference, people that appreciate Fort Wayne,
Yeah,
and people that like want to make each other sitting here better, and people that are listening better.
Oh, well, I try my best every day, and that's all I can do. But Fort Wayne is my home, and I love that my kids have roots here and my family has roots here. It is the best mix of a small town, big city, nice people, great opportunity, and it just keeps on evolving year after year and getting better. And so I think it's hard to find.
I was asking before you sat down there, Francis, are you a native of the area? What's your story?
I grew up in southern Indiana. So actually, my parents immigrated from the Philippines. My mom's a pharmacist. My dad's a doctor. They moved to southwestern Indiana, a small town called Linton. So if you think about that, it's about the size of, Auburn, I think, a nearby town about that size. So my high school is quite small. And I graduated a long time ago. Not going to tell you when. And I met my wife on a blind date in Terre Haute, Indiana.
So yeah, all Indiana.
Yeah, all Indiana. Yeah, then I went to undergrad at Butler. Finished there, went to law school at IU, finished there. And
Was your intent to be a lawyer?
well, so I was unsure. I had a lot of family pressure to go into law or medicine. So I was both pre-med and pre-law. Doing that, I actually found a love of sociology. So I thought I was going to be teaching sociology one day. And I fell in love with that. I have a minor in sociology from Butler, and decided I was going to go ahead and go to law school. I went into law school not knowing what to expect, but loving studying the law. Practicing the law, completely different. Completely different. My specialty was IP litigation, so copyright, trademark, and patent law. I worked on music, scripts, patent claims, things of that nature, and I was unfulfilled. And that's when I decided to go ahead and go back for medical school. My dad, there was one night, and he said, hey, if you go to medical school and you don't like it, you will still be the youngest associate in your law firm. I thought to myself, so I have no risk. So might as well give it a try.
Yeah.
With this growth mindset, you always want to try something different, try something new. I gave it a try and never looked back. My first semester, I loved it. My wife and I then got married during medical school. And I thought the last thing I was going to do was going to be OBGYN. But on the first day of my rotation, they called me in, any medical students, like to help out with a C-section of twins. And I thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I was sold.
Wow, how about that?
I love that
Did you
story.
see all the other possibilities before
yeah.
that? So
Yeah.
you had been through the...
Absolutely. I actually thought I was going to do GI or pulmonology critical care, either work in an ICU or work as a gastroenterologist. But when I saw OB and gynecology, that was it for me.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, most people can't figure that out. Most of us are still wondering what we're going to do.
I think finding that one thing that doesn't seem like work is so important.
Yes.
So important. I am so grateful every day they found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how did you wind up here?
Oh, great question. So a childhood friend of mine got a job as a CEO of a local hospital. And when he got the job, being the close friend that I am, I sent him a fruit basket saying, hey, congrats, way to go.
Are you at liberty to say who that was?
I can. I mean, I don't think you'll mind. Brian Bauer. So he was in town.
Yeah.
We went ahead and sent him a fruit basket. And he immediately called me and said, hey, you got to take a look at some of the groups here. And I told him, like, hey, B, I'm not going to go back, to Indiana. I've got interviews in Charlotte, San Francisco, New York. And he goes, just trust me. I've never led you wrong. I interviewed here. I met some great people, some wonderful physicians, and I signed probably 2 weeks after I met everybody.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now you're here with your buddy, Brian.
You know it?
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you,
BBB,
Brian.
buddy Brian Bauer.
Yeah. From Butler to, from before that near Terre Haute. And we also found another one of my fraternity brothers, Dr. Gonzalez. He's an oncologist in town. He also joined at the same time.
And when did you come?
2012.
Oh, so 12 years ago.
Yeah. A little bit of time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm guessing
Thank you.
that all your patients are extremely grateful
Oh,
that
my
you're
gosh.
here.
I am the one grateful for them.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that for me, I get so much more out of it than I put into it. And it's just pure joy. I mean, every day I almost cry when I think about how happy I am.
You seem like such a guy. I'm wondering if we should maybe have a baby so he can... we should think about that. We can talk about that later.
Let me know.
Yes.
Let me know.
Much later.
Andrea's over there like, let's let's put that on. Well, yeah, it's funny you say that. Francis and I were just at an appointment before this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're having a baby.
Yeah. So we were just chatting up in the room, and so this is great to be here. And this conversation could go so many ways. By the way, Francis is just in every which way, like just what you said there. I mean, you learn so much from a young age when you're in school. You're trying to figure out life when you're in your 20s, and you did it, and you're feeling fulfilled now. And what's next? What do you think? Like, I feel like you said growth mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think?
Get better every day. I think that's one thing. Two, keep on serving the community. For me, my dad always had this saying, if you take care of the people like their family, you will never go wrong. And so I just keep on doing that. And I am honestly living my dream every day. And I would tell you what's next for me. I would probably tell you I'm going to retire from Fort Wayne. I would see myself just growing my family here and seeing them grow up. Hopefully one day I'll be blessed with in-laws, son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws and grandkids, and hopefully they'll come over here and see their grandpa, their grandma up here.
Yes. Well, it's what you just said right there is why we're here. We treat each other like we're family.
Yep.
I come into your office and I feel like, you're my friend, family, like you're taking care of the thing that is most important to me is my family.
Absolutely.
Right. You've given, helped us out with both of our babies and now the third one. And I trust you. And it's because you're a great doctor, but also a good person. Right.
Thank you.
So, and I think that's why we're sitting here all together right now and having a nice conversation.
Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
We joke, we're like, let's get some dinner,
Anytime.
with that. But this is our dinner. This is our dinner conversation.
Anytime.
We're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, I'll have a baby with you after Bill's talks about him.
Okay,
so much.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a lot of specialists in Axia, and we can help you anytime.
So that's a good topic. Like,
Sure.
You just started this business, man. Axia, that's like a year old, right?
Yeah, actually, we've been with Axia, we're over 2 years now.
Okay.
We actually left our large group and split off. We worked with Lutheran for about a year, and then we went private equity. So Axia Women's Health is part of a larger private equity group called Partners Group, and that's kind of like global. So when you look at their healthcare arm, we're a small part of that healthcare arm with women's health.
So I'm a little confused.
Sure.
You broke away and you have your own practice now.
Yeah, so we actually went through the whole ordeal of separating from our group.
Got it.
And then we went ahead and actually were employed with Lutheran Health Network for a year.
Yeah.
During that time, we worked out our deal with private equity and have not looked back ever since. It's been pretty fun.
And how many other physician owners are there in your practice?
We have 4 of us total. So I've got Dr. Lawrence, Dr. Boyd, and also Dr. Garner.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, together I think we're well over 120 years of experience.
Do you just have one location here?
Mm-hmm. Yep, just one on Auburn Road and DuPont Road.
Auburn and DuPont. Yep. Yep.
Do you feel that's going to keep growing?
Yes, we are growing by the day. We're actually we grew out of our space that we just renovated this past year, but that's okay.
And you were telling me the other week, you have like 1 weekend or 1 month you did like 30 some babies. Like
my record for a month was 41, and it was in March of, I want to say 2020.
And what's cool too about that is he was telling me his family's at home, like he gets to about, 25, 30 babies, and they're like, all right, let's set the record. Like this household,
cheer me up.
this household he's telling me about is like a go-getter household. They said, Escara's never quit.
Yep.
What else is there? Like,
Yep. A couple of the things is like for them, anytime they do anything sports or they do anything as far as music or anything with school, I always ask them the same thing. And I've been doing it since my oldest son was born 15 years ago. Did you try your best and did you have fun? If you do, I am the most proud person in the room.
Yeah. So you've got a 15-year-old.
Yes.
Well, who else is involved in that whole family?
Oh, well, I've got a 12-year-old daughter. And then the baby, Griffin, he's our right amount of crazy. Let me tell you, he's 7. And then my wife, my better 99/100th, she is just everything.
Yeah.
So Francis' wife, what's her name?
Tori.
Mm-hmm. She has her own business as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I heard this maybe.
And it's really neat.
Is it a testing?
It is. It's a testing franchise.
I did hear that.
Yeah, so it's called Any Lab Test Now. The nice thing about this franchise is when she was looking at things that she wanted to do for Fort Wayne, she saw some problems. And, Tori, to know her is to love her. And what she does is this. She identifies problems, always tries to fix it. This is what she does. And she's been doing this ever since we were in high school. So she identified a problem of the cost of healthcare. And I think it was when I was getting my labs drawn at a lab that I owned. And she was thinking to herself, the prices were really high. And so what she did was she went on a search to find a franchise that can help her with that. And she found Any Lab Test Now in Atlanta, decided to become part of that. And next thing you know, she's been in business, she's going on 5 years now. And she's been top 10 in the country, Little Fort Wayne.
That's amazing.
But she
That's awesome.
is
How's that
wonderful,
possible?
and she's just, she's rocking out. And it's one other way for, kind of her to help the community and serve the community.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a second break here for some sponsor time.
Oh, thank you
But I want to
very
return to
much.
this because Francis is single-handedly, with support of his family, helping the healthcare in general. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get back on that topic.
Okay.
But
Sounds good. Yep.
I wanted to. This is a new thing to the show.
Yeah, no, Kool-Aid, right? What do we have?
Yeah, it's not Kool-Aid.
remind-
So this is a
Oh wow.
sponsor by Pine Valley Country Club, and they have their own tequila barrel
Oh wow.
with their name on it, and they bottle it for everybody who's a member.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
So we're going to sample it right now.
we're gonna sample it right now.
And now, I learned about tequila a little bit fairly recently with a medical world person who is very good at
Thank you.
knowing about tequilas.
Yeah.
And you probably know him, but I'll mention his
Okay.
name
Not a
after
problem.
after the podcast. But you don't just slam this down like you did maybe when you were
Right.
a younger person. You sip it and you enjoy the taste. This is one of those
That's
sipping-
one of the. It's a sipper,
Yes.
and
And aromatics as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
in our red Solo cups.
I love it. It's perfect for Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, all. Yeah, in fact, unfortunately, the aromatic part for me, I had COVID. We both had COVID back in 21.
That's
I think.
amazing. This
It
is
is good.
fabulous.
I
Very
can't
smooth
smell hardly anything
Still?
yet. To this day, I can barely
Really?
smell anything.
How about your taste?
I can taste everything, but I can't smell it.
This is nice. Thank you, Pine Valley Country
Very
Club.
smooth.
Pine Valley
Oh
Country
my
Club.
gosh. Apply today.
You can only get it if you're a member.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
So it's funny. Both of our sponsors are tea and tequila.
Yes.
So if you want to be a sponsor, you have to have something to do with a letter T.
Starting
I
with a
guess.
T.
Yeah.
But
But
Tesla.
Tesla.
Oh, there you go.
that's-
Oh,
That'd be a
yeah,
great one.
Tesla would be a
That'd
good
great
one. But it's Sasquatch tea, just to remind everybody from last
tea.
week.
Yes.
Locally owned.
Yes. So, veteran founded Sasquatch tea. I was telling Francis about this. It's all made in California. I do this now actually every night. I have a glass of tea. So they've made me better for that. And it's just a nice little
It's yummy.
pick me up at the
Yeah.
middle of the night.
Oh, no, definitely. And plus, you think about the antioxidants in tea.
See,
You know,
wellness.
these are, yes, absolutely. When you think about things you can find, dark grapes for red wine, teas, these are all wonderful to help fight off free radicals, damage to your cells, damage to your organs. If you look at the cultures in the world that tend to live over 100, they have something like teas, dark red wines, vegetable, plant-based diet, things of that nature that help them live over 100 at a higher rate than everyone else in the world.
Wow.
Good to know.
Agave?
It's a fun fact.
Maybe not. But actually, moderate consumption of alcohol is actually healthy for you.
Well,
Moderate.
let's drink to that.
Cheers. One more.
Now, Dan, I
In
did try
fact,
to
we
tell
need
you
to
that.
now find a winery that starts with the letter T to
There you
become
go.
another sponsor.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Our table's going to fill up. I don't know.
No
we
room for
could
the
stay
water. It's
local
okay.
and go 2 E's.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're
You
right.
are sharp.
With the T.
Holy
That was
smokes.
fast.
Yeah, that's a T.
You know
That was
what?
fast.
Those guys are great clients of ours. That we one of the things we do besides I don't know if you know or not what we do, but we publish magazines
Yep.
and various other things. But one of the things we do is we sell all the advertising in the terminal building at the airport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And 2E's Winery, which I'll give a little plug here, but great place. But they have been a great advertiser and supporter at the airport for probably at least 10, maybe 12 years now. So they're great supporters. So we need to really seriously.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we
And
should.
I would tell you with 2E's, they have some very fine wines that have won competitions all over the world.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I think those are the ones they need to bring in.
that we need to try.
I know. Yeah, they are pretty amazing. There's a winemaker there, and I actually took care of him and his wife.
Is that Eric?
Actually, Martin.
Martin. Don't know
And he
Martin.
gave me a bottle of wine as a gift. And I told him, I'm like, you don't really have to give me anything. My reward is just being here. And the wine was tremendous. Tremendous.
Nice.
Yeah, one thing that we're going to try to do is at the end of the year is bring all of our guests back and have a little get together.
Oh my gosh. Well,
So
sure.
that'll be fun. I kind of just sprung that on us, but we can pull it off, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
whatever we
Back
want.
to episode 1 where I just say, "Hey, let's just do it." You know?
I think it's a great idea.
That was Andrea's idea. That was a good one. So, all right, back to healthcare. You were telling me in the bathroom,
Yep.
that you were a leader in the healthcare movement locally, or I don't know, like, is it
Oh.
bigger than that? Just to improve the knowledge of
Absolutely.
of it, right?
Education. Education is key when you think about maternal. So these are moms and babies. Morbidity and mortality is one of the highest in Indiana than anywhere else in the country. So a lot of what we do is a lot of education. And the way we do that is going to be, in the office.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah.
The mortality?
Yeah. So perinatal mortality, so for babies, and also maternal mortality for moms is actually quite high in Indiana.
Wow.
And is Fort Wayne also at that same level?
In all of Indiana.
The whole
Yeah.
state.
So when you think about it, there's a couple reasons for that. One, we were just talking about critical access hospitals. The area is so large with so few hospitals, and a lot of these places are closing down. Just locally, the labor and delivery over in Auburn, Parkview closed that labor and delivery, unit down. And those people now have to drive 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes. And if there's an emergency, sometimes you don't have minutes. Sometimes all you have are seconds. And so this is something that has to be addressed as a bigger problem.
Right.
So a lot of what we do is education as far as when to go to the hospital, which is sometimes as soon as possible. Other times we have to, have people come in, but we do different things. We do different sessions. I used to go to moms groups, mothers of preschoolers, and what we would do is we would discuss different aspects of healthcare. One that was very popular was my talk on 50 Shades of Grey talk. I did a Let's Talk About Sex. And so you have people that haven't had the talk with, let's say, their parents or anyone, but they find themselves being parents, and they don't really know how sexual health and well-being will tie into their everyday life. And so we talked about that for hours. There was one time I was only scheduled to be there from 12 until 1. I didn't leave until after, it was close at dinner time.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Wait,
invited.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This was a while ago. I'm not going to tell you where and what church I went to.
But it's probably so practical. Like,
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of families are in that situation.
Yeah. Sexual health and well-being is part of ourselves, of our overall health and well-being, just like our spiritual health and well-being, our emotional health and well-being, our physical health and well-being. And it never goes addressed. That's why for every annual visit,
you're not
you
supposed
have
to talk about it.
Yeah.
Supposedly, but now, I mean, it's actually part of us. So if your provider is not talking about it to you, whether you're male or female, then they're not really doing you a service.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
You've covered a number of topics there, Francis. The concern with regard to the closing of the Parkview facility. I don't necessarily need to know why that was closed, but I'm guessing it had to be a financial consideration.
Most likely.
So, how do you remedy that? Do you just say just leave for the hospital earlier? What do you do with that?
Well, I think a lot of it's education. Another thing is for the patients you do have in those outlying communities, you really want to make sure everything's okay. And so, I have ways to keep it simple. All right. So I make things rhyme. So first off is when in doubt, come and get checked out. If there's any question, there's anything going on, decreased movement with the baby, if you are having problems with bleeding, anything, please feel free to come and get checked out, and we will see you anytime. I'm in the office every day. So I tell people all the time, it's the same price whether they see me 11 times or 25 times. Come and see me. Think of it as a value proposition.
And do you experience resistance on the part of people saying, well, that's a 20-minute drive both directions?
Absolutely not.
You don't.
When it comes to their health, as far as, and the health of their baby, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
and you come from a small town,
Yes.
so you know that
Oh, yeah.
feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're driving however far.
Yep, and that's kind of part of what I do. I think about this, and I think about my dad's friends and his associates and everything when we were growing up, and these are all people that were his patients, but they're also, just like you guys. They're leaders in the community. They were, trying to make everything better for everyone and trying to help that city get better every day. So when I think about it, I'm really not taking care of patients as much as I'm taking care of friends.
Sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Where do you deliver babies?
I go to DuPont and PRMC, which is Parkview Regional, which is on the north side.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Because Lutheran's DuPont's a big baby delivery place.
It is. They call it the birthplace.
oh man,
birthplace.
they
Yeah.
have music every time a baby
Yes.
goes on.
That's true.
Yeah,
I love being in there in that place. I'm so happy.
I made sure to listen to it for ours. I was like, that's
Wait a minute.
pretty
Say
neat.
that again. They have music when a baby's born. Then
Yes.
somebody plays some music.
It's
Yeah.
Celine Dion or something, right?
It's a lullaby, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Celine.
Speaking of music, so not to go into too much detail, but we had for our babies, we had emergency C-sections,
Right.
and Francis
Right.
did the surgeries. And I remember we were just talking about this before. Still kind of hard to talk about because it's a whole thing that you want to go in, have natural births and everything, and then you have that conversation. And
Right.
Francis and I had that conversation with Amanda.
Yep.
And we're like, wow, we didn't know we'd be here. We you didn't even know that the knowledge of it, the experience of
Right.
it. And so Francis did an amazing job of just walking in calm and collective and saying, this is what's going to be, this is why, this is, everything. And the most awesome part of the whole process though is I walk in to the surgery and Francis has got he's got a playlist. He's got a playlist for surgery. And it is the best playlist I've ever heard. I was like, can I have this playlist for after this? I just so I have as a memory.
I still have Amanda's playlist on my phone.
See, he still has the playlist.
I do yours. I have yours.
I love it.
I have yours.
And what was it? The Greatest Showman.
Yep.
All was on for the song.
Do you do
and-
one for each patient?
I do. I try. And the reason behind that was actually scientific. And I'll tell you why. I was helping out with a study in residency on circumcisions. And it was with U of M in Beaumont, where I did my residency, and Oakwood Hospital. And what they did was they studied if music had an
Beaumont's in
effect.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They studied if the music had an effect on circumcisions. And what we found with pooling all of our resources together from everyone's circumcisions was that if you play music, they typically have fewer complications, less blood loss, and they require the sucrose, kind of like the sugar water they use to soothe the babies. They required less of that if you play music.
Wow.
So I think that everything has a rhythm. I think that, when I saw our dad, I thought to myself, I've got to play some music in the OR, and see if that helps. And knock on wood, it's been very effective.
Yeah. And it-
Very nice.
as a patient or I wasn't the patient, but it helped me.
Sure. Yes. So it made you feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a big Journey fan by any chance?
The front man's Filipino. I know. Armani, he's awesome. I am actually. That was the playlist I had today. I had a gal come in for a repeat C-section. She actually requested 80s rock.
There you go.
There you
So
go.
I thought, so we've got full of Journey and Toto and
Well, now you can tell them you're at Sweetwater with all these awesome,
I know,
like,
awesome guitars.
like-
the monitors are tremendous. I mean, just looking in the
It
room,
is a
unbelievable.
spectacular space.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you for having me.
let's dig a little deeper. All right.
Oh man,
You ready
Okay.
for this?
You can ask me anything, man. I'm an
So-
open book for you.
All right. So I mentioned you trained with the SEALs for 9 days. Crazy. Iron Man.
Yep.
Crazy. What else can you name any other things? That's just like in that kind of.
Race motorcycles. I like to, take my car to track days. Other thing, honestly, I'll tell you what has been extreme lately: parenting.
Oh,
Parenting
yeah.
is extreme. Trying to keep up with kids. That's hard.
How about that energy? How about that energy?
Yeah,
you need
no,
for that,
it's
right?
hard. I mean, I work out just to keep up with my kids.
Yeah. So what? All those extremes. You said that you wanted to skydive someday, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What makes you that way? Is there something in the past? Is there something that
man.
like right now just
That's a great question.
Trying to
Billy.
impress girls.
Well, no, actually, it was
Did it start
for me.
out that way?
I loved adrenaline. I love the thrill of trying something different and doing something new. And you get these races, you get these events. I did a 24-hour event with Dr. Boyd, my partner at Axia, and we did this 24-hour event at the birthplace of Special Forces. And so you're successful for these things, and you want to keep on, having that feeling continue. I also wanted to, summit Everest. These are all things that we thought about, but then I realized that, with all these achievements and everything, all I want to do, honestly, stay home, hang out with my kids.
Yep.
And I found out that's actually my purpose. At first, before I had children, I thought I was supposed to be this great lawyer, this great doctor. I thought I was going to, just be an excellent husband. And I realized that my purpose is to raise this family, raise my family and help them be the best they can be.
Billy,
man.
I
Give me
would
some,
say
by the way.
that's
Give me some.
I love it,
That
man.
was-
Like,
that
I
was
know.
great.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
awesome.
your mission as
That-
well.
Yeah,
It's
and
seriously-
that's how come we
parallels?
get along so well. I mean, I see.
Yes.
I see Billy and what he's doing every day, and I just hope I can contribute as much as he does.
No, that's how. Yeah, he's an inspiration to me. So
I'm sure you do.
Oh,
So
it
it's-
goes both ways, man. You inspire me too.
Yeah,
you
it's-
know, you really do.
So do you still want to jump out of airplanes?
right,
Absolutely.
right.
Have you done that before?
No, I haven't. My wife said if I did that, she's going to bump up my life insurance.
Yeah, I bet she.
So I
she
decided
should.
not to.
Yeah.
I don't want to be worth more dead than alive.
Well, I know this isn't about
Smart plan.
this isn't about me here, but today, but I have done that. And
Oh,
I've
wow.
done it 3 times.
Oh, wow. What do you
Damn,
think? Amazing?
nice.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
to
Where'd
say
you
the
do
least.
it?
Where?
Yeah.
I did it at the airport in Marshall, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Back
Okay.
when I was 21 years old. And
Oh, wow.
some buddies and myself, we really wanted to do this, and
Yeah.
we went to, and it is, talk about adrenaline. It is a rush.
What's a young Dan like? Now you know you make fun of yourself for being old. What's a young Dan like?
I can't tell you.
What's a 20-year-old Dan like? Oh, tell me, come on. I need to know. Before Fort Wayne Dan.
It's a bad scene, man.
Well, what I would tell you is, Dan, you're still young. I think, you look at ages now, 50 is the new 25.
No, you should see Dan at the gym.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, he freaking gets
That's
after
what I'm saying.
it,
I mean,
man.
I see people now. It's unbelievable. When you're talking about the elderly boxing and you're talking about Parkinson's, that is 100% true. Fine motor, gross motor skills, balance. When I work out now, it's not for muscles. It's honestly just for functional fitness.
Well, that's why some guy looked at me weird out when I was coming in. So I smacked him. You know what? This is going to help me.
And then he took his front row spot for the Studio
Watch
A
out.
parking spot.
Better watch out. I might throw the gloves on at Lifehouse Village.
No, I'm going there one of these days.
You know, we
Check
can
it
have
out.
another conversation someday about
Yeah.
what I was like as a young person.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I
So
can't
you're the
tell
next guest. There
anymore.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You could reverse the roles. I could come back and ask you questions.
I
That'd
could
be
be a
great.
guest. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
You never know.
Here, I have a question. It's my
Please.
understanding that you have met some very interesting people in your life that play sports and things like that.
I was able to meet a couple people in Miami at the Fontainebleau Hotel.
Oh, that's a great hotel.
Love that place. Great
That's
spot.
great.
We were there for a bachelor party. And we actually got to meet Rob Gronkowski, Dan Marino. Our cabana was right next to both those guys, as well as Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, wow.
And that was a pretty awesome trip.
I bet.
Oh my gosh.
Like that
We
whole
also-
day, did you just hang with them? Or?
Yes, got to hang out with them. I thought that Gronk, he drank so much vodka, the huge size like you see at Costco of Grey Goose. I thought I didn't know if he was going to live. I didn't know,
Oh
but
my
I think that they're just built differently. I mean, really, his appetite, his metabolism. I mean, I think I maybe came up to maybe his elbow.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Plus, he knew he had a doctor close by, so he was like, hey, I'm good.
He had
Right.
multiple doctors there, but we were still like, wow, we've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty amazing.
He's a beast.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we were just joking. We're one of 2 people in Fort Wayne that have water rowers. And Gronk sponsored it.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
And he just told me Gronk didn't even like get that, like, what was it?
Yeah, so the water rower is a great exercise device. So it's a rowing machine, but it uses water as resistance. Well, we were talking about it, and when I met him, I was just like, hey, Rob, I want to tell you how great your water rower is. And he goes, Doc, I cannot believe you bought one. I said, why? And he goes, the only people that have bought that at retail price would be you and my mother.
Oh
He honestly said, I can count how many I sold on one hand. And this is like it's a Gronk edition water rower. So it's even built more sturdy than the typical water rower. And it's just a wonderful, I mean, the reason why I got it, I was a fan of Gronk and I saw it's going to last a lifetime. You know, I mean, these things are beautiful.
So
They have
what'd
to
you
be
do? Get yours from his mom? Because he only sold 2.
I guess. Like, I don't know. I saw his ad and I was like, well, I'm going to buy this. The Gronk's on it. It must be good, right?
Do you have to put vodka in it versus water?
You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe you'll have more resistance.
Yeah, there
you go.
maybe so.
Might be a little thicker.
Gronk is a spokesperson for Wolf and Shepherd
Yes.
shoes. And I've been wearing, these aren't those, but I've been
Yep.
wearing Wolf and Shepherd for
Pretty amazing.
years.
Really?
And yes. And they're really,
Okay.
really nice casual
pick up a pair.
shoes. Yeah.
So we talk about community and making the community better a lot on the show.
Gotcha.
And so I think that you're doing all these great things for the community. One of them being, I think you're like working with the police academy. Is that right?
Well,
that movie.
I was going to volunteer as a medic, and try and help them out. Dr. Boyd, my other partner, Axia, he's actually a SWAT medic. So he's a sworn officer for Fort Wayne. He's been a SWAT medic now for, gosh, I want to say he's been almost like 14 years, I think. He's been doing it for a while. And he inspired me to try and do the same thing. I actually have not been able to do that yet, but I've been training with some of those guys for firearms. They've got a wonderful group of instructors there. And I think that firearms training has just been a lot of fun. But mainly it's also training, doing something out of that comfort zone, trying to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Seeing a gynecologist training with firearms with SWAT guys or anyone. I still remember my first class I took with Dr. Boyd. We were in Michigan. It was filled with Border Patrol, Michigan State Police, and this one guy that was from an unnamed letter agency. So we knew he was CIA. And they go around, they say, hey, give us your name, what you do for a living. Well, everyone was saying what they did. And then it came to Dr. Boyd and he said, I'm a medic with SWAT. So I'm like, great. So I'm sitting there, look like I'm going to be, playing golf on Sunday. I had a red pullover and black pants.
Nice.
And I'm just like, oh, my name is Francis and I'm a gynecologist. And I said, you want to fight? And it was pretty amazing because after that class, they saw how I could shoot. They all thought to themselves, you are the coolest gynecologist I've ever met in my life.
Oh man, just bullseye every time. You're just getting after it.
It was a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
So you trained with the SEALs.
Yep.
And you said you did like a plank for like an hour.
Well, it's a great company called SEAL Fit. So if you read The Way of the SEAL, it's by an author. His name is Mark Devine. He's a former SEAL commander. And this guy, he is bringing the lessons learned from BUDS and SEAL training and bringing it to the masses. And so he actually has a great company called SEAL Fit. And he has an academy where he takes some students and he'll take them for 9 days. You train with current SEALs, people are trying to be a SEAL, and retired SEALs. And so the first day, they get you in this room and you practice breathing. That's your first lesson. They start there. And the reason why is they'll teach you all the tips and tricks to do what you're going to do. I thought we were going to do 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 pull-ups and be running in the desert. And we did all those things. But the first thing they do is they prep you for that. And so they teach you how to breathe. Then after you learn how to breathe, do box breathing exercises, they bring you outside where the sun is just beating down on this area of concrete. They call it the grinder. And they say, get in plank position. Well, we get in a circle. We're on plank. And all of us, none of us, there were, gosh, I want to say about 18 people. None of us had held plank for more than 3 minutes.
Wow.
We held plank and, for, it was 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Oh my
Gosh, can you imagine?
And it went by like this. It went by so quickly. And went by
Just
so
from
quickly.
breath work.
Well, there are other tricks too.
Yeah, like mind tricks, right?
Mind tricks, yeah. And it's the proving the point that the mind is stronger than the body all the time.
Now, did you box 80-year-old people while you?
No, but I will tell you, it was rough. It was rough.
I bet it was.
Rough. It was rough.
So it's really a mind game.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing these things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I guess that makes a lot of sense.
What they teach in the SEALs is that you are capable of 20 times what you think, and that your thought of what you can do as far as physically or anything, and your limits is actually an evolutionary trait to help you conserve energy because you don't know when your next meal's coming.
Wow. It's funny you say that about like giving it all and everything. Because where do you think 110% comes from? Because I just was reading about this today.
I don't know.
It's kind of so I'm in manufacturing, right? Mm-hmm. And the union started, when it started, you had to meet a quota. You had to hit an efficiency. And that ranged from, 110% to 125%.
Oh, wow.
And so if you hit 110%, you get your money. You get paid.
Oh, wow. Gotcha.
And if you go over 125%, it increases. So you're floating in between a percentage.
Wow.
And so from what I read is they said that's where 110% comes from because you're giving your 110%.
I didn't know that. Thanks,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's my little piece of knowledge.
Love it.
That's my new thing. I like to learn something new every day. So that's my new thing to learn.
Growth
Yeah,
mindset.
that's why we're here.
And so many other. I think I'm good for the month.
Oh man,
Now,
that's our goal, right?
Yeah.
Is we're gonna go to young, whoever, right? And with this podcast and be like, look, learn something new today.
It's a wonderful platform. It really is.
Speaking of that, I'm not trying to end the show here, but where are we on time?
we're like going on 45 minutes. So
So is it 45? Is that where we are?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, Sweetwater kicks us out, or I'm not really sure how this all works.
let's look.
But
We're getting from the sound room. I think that's the right name. Sound room? No?
Jason.
you kind of give him like, yeah.
From Sweetwater A.
But no, that's good. I want to, and maybe we have this thing where we follow up with guests because this has been an amazing conversation.
Thanks. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And like to see where you are, 5 years from now, I think is going to be fantastic. That's along with all of our guests and ourselves too, just to see what's going on with.
Well,
with
I
everything.
told you up front he was going to be great, and you kept denying that.
I know.
And our listeners
it's all
can
me.
post questions or something, so we can always try to see if we can get some answers about doctor, like
My
seal thing or something like that.
My question is, I don't know how this man here doesn't sleep.
I don't know.
That's the last thing I wanted to bring up. I mean, he's been up for 24 hours, more than that right now, right?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. I did delivery late last night, and then I went in and had to do a C-section emergently at 4:00 in the morning, and then had another delivery at 7, and then worked in the office.
Guess how he gets his workouts in?
How do
He
you
brings
get them in?
bags to his trunk, and he's like, "Oh, I got to go get my workout in." Goes gets the bags from his trunk.
Sandbags. We've been
Sandbags.
using them for a long time. They work out great.
Sandbags. What
Yeah.
do you do with them?
Well, you can press sandbags. They've got handles on them. You can drag them. You can put them on your shoulders and run with them.
So they're weights.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's something that's just, it's actually really nice because grip strength is involved, core. If you carry a sandbag in one arm and try and walk with it, oh my gosh, that's a great thing for the core.
Carry it in one arm and walk with it.
Yes,
Just
absolutely.
one side.
Yes, because it engages the other side of the core.
Oh, yeah.
So if I walk
It's like
like
an oblique.
absolutely, 100%. Tightens up everything.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you get maybe a nap in. Is that okay? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
right.
Sounds
Is
great. Sounds great.
And then we'll do the second half of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Francis.
No, thank
and
you, guys.
This
Appreciate
has
it.
been
You bet.
amazing.
Thank you, Francis. It's a
appreciate it.
pleasure
Thanks,
to have
guys.
you here today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Very nice.
Boy, me